Hey, hey, hey. Thanks for tuning in to Good Vibes with Yaya. And on today's episode, we're talking about Adulting 101. That transition wasn't easy for me, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't easy for a lot of you guys either. Today, I'm joined with the founder of the CEO Mentality and the Torch Shop, Pamela, the CEO, and she's sharing her insights on manifesting and Adulting 101. Now, before we get started, you already know what I need you to do. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram at Good Vibes with Yaya. Hello, everyone. Today I will be joined with the one and only Pamela, the CEO, owner of the CEO Mentality and the Torch Shop. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. So let's talk about your brand, the CEO Mentality. I feel like it's come a long way. So just tell me a little bit more about that.
The CEO mentality actually stands for confidence, entrepreneurship, and opportunity. Those are the three tiers. That's what the CEO stands for. And so with my brand, I want to. Well, my end goal, for my life, is to be a keynote speaker. And so to be a keynote speaker is pretty much somebody who people invite out to bring a crowd because people will want to hear what that person has to say, what that person has to offer. So I kind of want to use the CEO mentality to kind of build that for myself, if that makes sense. So in the coming months, my original plan with it was to offer life coaching services and entrepreneurship, one-on-one mentorship and things of that sort, which I'm about to start getting into in the coming months. So I'm really excited about that, number one. And so right now, over the past year, I've been posting business tips and offering a couple digital products, and I've been posting motivation on the social media as well, just because not even just because I feel like I say I'm a lot but having motivation in your face as soon as you wake up is really important. It kind of sets the tone for your day, and you kind of, I think for me, it's you don't know who needed to see this today. So I think that's the biggest part for me when I post, because that's I feel like there's always going to be somebody who it touches more than somebody else. So I think that's probably the best part about what I've been doing with it so far, that people will comment and be like, wow, I really needed this. And so I'm really happy about that as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely see the CEO mentality certain posts on my feed once in a while, and I will say it is definitely inspiring for me that wants to become somebody known also, and just you need that little motivation to just get up in the morning and feel yourself a little bit and just remember what your end goal is. So I definitely do thank you for your words of encouragement once in a while when you do post. So tell me what made you want to create the CEO mentality? Did you just wake up one morning, although you have the goal of becoming a keynote speaker, what made you want to, develop that specific brand?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I said, I wanted to be a keynote speaker. So it's kind of I had to think to myself, how do I want to impact people, or what do I want to do that is going to be impactful in the way that I want it to be? People you can do something else, but I wanted to, how this is a quote. What is it? Aspire to inspire. I think that's one of the biggest things for me. I wouldn't want to be known just for anything. I would want to be known because I was able to positively impact people's lives. So I kind of thought about it, and that's what I came up with, to start it as a social media blog, and then go ahead and segue into offering the one-on-one mentorship and life coaching that I'm about to get into offering. So yeah, and again, kind of I was saying, I feel like people need, I don't know how to put it, but I think it's important with entrepreneurship to kind of fill a gap, and kind of like you said, sometimes you'll see the post and be like, oh wow, I needed that today, or this is really inspiring for me. And it's just I kind of wanted to, I don't know what, I don't want to say get in where I fit in, but how can I fill the gap of how I want to inspire people, and how can I help? And so just seeing that, a couple of posts being able to reach you, is really amazing to hear.
So I noticed that you did recently graduate in December 2019, correct?
Yeah, thank you.
So, so because you want to be, you know, a life coach and, you know, kind of like a mentor, I felt like it was a good idea for us to talk about adulting one-on-one because I know that you got your own place, you got your dream car, you have your YouTube channel, you have your brand CEO mentality, and you also have your own hair business, the Torch Shop. So I just want to talk about, you know, I noticed also that you kind of rebranded yourself along the way.
Mhm.
So tell me why you decided to do that.
That's actually really funny that you say that because how do you think, I don't know how to put it, but like I guess what is the rebrand? Like what did you notice, if that makes
So
sense?
what I personally noticed when I followed you was more so I feel you always dress really nice, but I felt like you took more pictures, you posted more and used a lot of different hashtags.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I felt like you were trying to, you know, put yourself more out there so that people outside of just the DMV area are able to notice you.
Hmm. Which is a really good point because I know for me, like even with the CEO mentality, like I don't want to be like a local brand. Like you know how there's like DMV local brands. Like
Right.
I like my thoughts are like way past the DMV area. Like so I was like prior to like me taking my Instagram seriously, you know, I think I was just kind of posting for my friends. But then, you know, I kind of realized I don't want to just stay to the DMV, you know. I want to be able to reach more people and reach a bigger audience. And, you know, one way to do that is with hashtags because people from all across the world can find the hashtags. So, yeah, I definitely decided to, especially I think around probably December-ish is when I decided to take my Instagram more seriously because you can go really far with just Instagram. You can, and I think people who want to do, I don't know how to put it, but I just think people should really use Instagram for all. You should really take Instagram seriously if you have a brand and you want to expand it because I'll have just for my Instagram I'll have like companies from different countries and like different states hitting me up just because they see me on Instagram because they clicked on the hashtag.
Right.
So just little things like that. So yeah, just wanted to be a bigger than just the DMV is what made me want to kind of rebrand and take my Instagram a little bit more seriously.
And I like that because you also had your YouTube channel. So that kind of put
Mm-hmm.
the together to kind of put you in a bigger light. So I really do enjoy that portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, you did say that you recently graduated in December. So tell me, what was that transition like from going from college to adulthood?
So, I feel like it didn't hit me, I guess, as hard as it usually does hit people. Like, wow, I'm really not in school anymore. But
Right.
I think one, it had to do with me because I also crossed into my sorority that like 2 weeks before I graduated. So, like, I was still like coming up to the school, like I was still involved with my school pretty much right after I graduated. So I didn't really feel like, you know, all right, this is it. I'm out into the world. I didn't really feel like that, number one. And two, I had already had a job kind of in my field, well, in my field before I graduated. So when I graduated, you know, prior to graduating, I was working. And after graduating, I was still working. So the transition for me personally wasn't like a drastic change, but I think if anything, probably over the course of quarantine is when I really felt like I transitioned from, I guess, into adulthood. But after graduating, I still kind of, I don't know, it just didn't hit me until recently, honestly.
And so, like during that quarantine phase, because it's like, you know, school's closed down, you can't really go up to see your line sisters, your friends anymore. So, like, how was that transition? Because I feel like quarantine alone, like COVID, it hit people really hard. And I feel
Yeah.
like it probably would have hit, you know, new graduates even more because you're still dealing with the fact that you're even entering adulthood. Like, there's no really guidebook to that. So, it's like, how did quarantine kind of affect that transition in some more detail?
I think personally, how do I want to put it? I think quarantine made me realize that you really have to take every opportunity that's pretty much thrown at you because as you can see, like literally when we start in March, literally half of over half of 2020 has pretty much been kind of taken away from us. And it's like, you can't wait for opportunities to fall in your lap. You really have to take the opportunities because, you know, who knows what's going to happen next. So we thought we were going to be out in 2 weeks, and it's been 8 months at this point, you know? So I think quarantine has really taught me to, I don't know, I kind of want to say pick up the pace, or like, you know, really go hard or go home, because life isn't on your time. It's not going to move when you want to move. Whether you get started today or get started tomorrow, life is going to go on. So you might as well get started today, because life is going to keep going with or without you. So I think quarantine has definitely pushed me to really be like, okay, well, you got to, you know, let's go, because, you know, life is going to keep going. It's not going to wait for you to get it together.
That's definitely true. I think that's also like one of the biggest lessons I learned during quarantine, because I had so many ideas that I was kind of just waiting to start. It's like, you know, I'll wait. But because I had so much time during quarantine, it's like, girl, what are you waiting for? Like, just do it. Like, although you don't want it to be, although you want it to be 100% perfect when you put it out, like, you're going to keep bullshitting and keep bullshitting. So like, just do it right now. Like, that's definitely a lesson that I learned during these couple of months, just being in the house, right?
I definitely agree with that. Definitely agree.
So you did mention that you already had your job prior to graduating. So what advice would you give to people who are entering the adulthood phase and are looking for their big girl or big boy job?
So one, I would say start looking earlier, whether it's just getting your foot in the door, like starting at the front desk. Let's say if you wanted to be a nurse, starting at the front desk at a hospital, and then working your way in. I would say definitely start earlier, because I just got my, I guess, first big girl job like a month ago. But I was already, you know, working in my field, but I just got like my first, like, you know, with the benefits and all of that. I just got that like a month ago. So by me being able to have my foot in the door already with a little bit of experience, you know, me getting my big girl job was, I don't want to say it was easy, but like, you know, I was able to get it because I already had some experience under my belt. So I would definitely say get, you know, especially if you're in your senior year or like in your junior year, do something, get something on your resume so that people will be like, oh, okay, so she's been doing this, or, you know, so because especially during these times, they're not just going to hire anybody at this point. Yeah, so you're going to have to do something that's going to make you stand out. And also I was going to say, make sure you have a good resume. And I feel like people we hear that all the time, you know, there's like resume courses and stuff that they offer in college, or like, you know, all this resume stuff, but it is really important that you have a really good resume. I know for my resume, and I'm sure that one of the biggest reasons I got my job, because they said that a lot of people had applied for my position, one of the biggest reasons I got my job is because I had a really professional resume, and it was like, you know, loaded with stuff. Even if you didn't really do anything, like you can put the verbiage and the words in there to make it seem like you did a lot of stuff. So definitely get help with your resume. Because even like the layout, I know for me, if I was reviewing a resume, like even if it didn't look professional, I'm just gonna have to go to the next one, because I need to know somebody can set up a professional document to turn, you know. So definitely make sure you have a good resume and start early. Get your foot in the door early. Yeah, those would be my two.
So aside from your big girl job, you got your first apartment. So let's start off with like, why did you want to move out?
I really wanted my own space, girl. I have a big family. It's 8 of us. Yeah, there's 8 of us in our house, and you know, I've always had to not share, you know, share a bathroom, and like since I was young, I was like sharing my room and like little stuff like that. And it's just like, you know, I just want my own space. I just need my own space, and even so that was one. And then also for my brand, like I felt like in my house, I didn't have like an office space. I didn't have like a space where I can sit down, you know, because, you know, if you're in your bedroom and if you're on the bed, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to take a nap, you know. It's so easy to like fall into It's so easy to just fall asleep and or pick up your phone and do something else. So I just felt like I needed space where I could like really work on my brand and what I want to do with my life and stuff. So I was like, well, I need a whole new space for that. That's another thing. And then also my job is far. Well, I used to live in Prince George's County, and my job is in Montgomery County. So I was like, and especially because of my car, and my car takes up a lot of gas. So I was like, I'm just not making the commute every day,
right,
to county. So I was like, oh, perfect timing. I guess I'll just move and start it all somewhere else. So, yeah.
So how was that process, actually like looking for an apartment and actually getting the apartment? Like, what was that like? Because some people have no idea at all.
Yeah.
What was that
So
like?
I would say for Maryland specifically, had trouble because I feel like Maryland has like the worst options for like apartments. Like really, if you start looking, you'll really be like, because I actually tweeted it and it got a whole bunch of retweets. I'm like, so everybody feels like this. So for some reason, I just don't know what's going on out here. But so initially, like I wouldn't say I was discouraged, but I had trouble kind of finding like a space that I wanted, because I know when you want to get an apartment, there's like certain things you want in there,
Right.
and I couldn't find that like in the PG area. So luckily, I found it out in the Montgomery County area. But I think the process is a lot easier than what people think. I think when you think of like moving out, it's like, oh my gosh. I think it is a big step in your life, but like I think for me specifically, I think the process wasn't that hard. Even I think the process wasn't that hard. Like literally, I found what the apartment that I liked. I went to go tour it. Especially with COVID, they do like self tours, so they just give you the keys and you go look at it by yourself. Okay. And just check out the place. So that's what some apartments are doing. You can just go look at it by yourself. But I found the one I wanted. I toured it, and then I believe that same day, no, probably like a couple days later, I applied and I got approved that same day. And I was just like, okay, well that's it. And literally like that was it. And I had my first apartment. So I think that was crazy because the idea of it is just like, yeah. You got to do all this. It was literally like I could do it in like 2 days.
So in terms of money wise, you mentioned that you lived in the house with all your siblings. Like, when did you decide like, okay, I need to get out of here? And then how did you start saving to make sure that you're able to make your rent and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do a YouTube video on that, but but surprisingly, I didn't really save to move out. I think I think everyone's situation is different. I know there's some people who will save up like thousands and thousands of dollars before they even think about moving out. But me, like, I did not have that much in savings, and I was like, well, I'm leaving. But I knew, literally, I was just like, I'm leaving. Like, I don't care if I have $2. I'm getting out of here. That's where my mind was at. But I knew I was going to be making money. I knew I was going to be making good money. So it's working out. And also, I think, like I said, it really depends on your situation. Like for me, I know that me furnishing my place, because like when I was living at home, like my bedroom was just where I slept. Like it wasn't really decorative at all. So I know for me, when I'm moving, I'm like, okay, well, I really want this place to be like perfect and like tip top shape. So, getting it to that point takes time. So let's say if I moved out with a whole bunch of savings and just bought all my furniture, who knows? I would have hated it within a week, So, so I think, even this way is good for me, because I get to take my time and really pick out pieces that I want for my place. But like I said, it is different for everybody. I didn't move out with like $0. I had, enough money to, pay my first like 2 months of rent and, a couple bills here and there. So, it was, I just got up and packed up my stuff and left. That's how it was for me. So.
So I think it's funny that you said that, because I feel like based on your YouTube channel and just kind of your whole aura, it's like you trust the process, like regardless, like,
Mm-hmm.
although I may, I want this specific thing and I'm going to go after it, like regardless. And I feel like you did that when it came to your purchasing your first Jeep. That was your dream car. And you decided to just get up and go for it and, just kind of let things flow because you like manifested it. So you mentioned a lot about manifestation in your YouTube channel, but kind of tell me more about like the planning process, how you kind of work towards it, and when you got it.
So I think the biggest part in terms of manifestation is that I think a lot of people get so hung up on like, how is it going to happen? Like, how is this going to happen? But I think that's what people don't even realize, like, especially if what you want is kind of seen as a miracle, you don't know how a miracle is going to happen. It just kind of happens for you. So people get so hung up on the how. But like when it comes to like manifesting what you want, you really just have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that what you want is going to happen. Like if you have any doubt in your mind that you aren't going to get what you're asking for or what you're looking to get, then it's not going to happen. If you kind of don't even believe this can happen for you, then, why would it happen if you don't even believe that something like this is possible? And I think that's where my head was at when it came to my Jeep. So for my YouTube video, I was talking about how when I first realized that I wanted a Jeep, I was working at the beauty supply store, girl, and I was making minimum wage. And Jeeps are an expensive car, and it's like, honestly, like, you can't afford a Jeep, making minimum wage because, you just can't afford to make a minimum wage. But, in that moment, I'm not thinking about my situation and where I'm at. I'm just thinking about what I want and where I want to be. And you have to figure out, okay, so I want XYZ. What am I going to do to get there? Or what am I going to do to put myself in that position? So, am I even answering the question? What was the question?
Basically, I was asking like what steps you took towards purchasing your Jeep.
Okay, yeah. So by the time, that was like in January that I decided that I wanted a Jeep, but I didn't get my Jeep until the end of the year. And okay, yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. So I feel like even things like buying a Jeep, I feel like, I don't know how to put it, but I feel like the idea of it is so far off, like, whoa, a Jeep, like, it's an expensive car. And it's like, I think maybe it's fear or something, just the idea of purchasing something, so big. But once you realize that things like that are attainable, like even like seeing me do it, you realize you can do this, like things like this are attainable, And I think I mentioned it in another one of my YouTube videos. I went to the wharf, like by the water, like, they have like apartments over there. And it's like, especially if you live in like PG County, like the harbor and stuff, or like the wharf is like, a good like 20-30 minutes away. And it's like, to afford living in the wharf, the rent is like $5,000 a month, But right. And these people are only 30 minutes away from you and they can afford $5,000 in rent. Like, so it's not, you don't have to live in Cali. You don't have to like be so extravagant to have nice things, because there's people living 30 minutes away from you and they can afford these things. So once you realize that, like, nice things in life and like, luxurious things in life are attainable, I feel like people will be like, I don't know how to put it, but just a little bit more, I guess less worried, or like, I guess less worried, because I think I'm at the point where I don't really worry anymore, because I know these things, I can achieve these things. I know these things are attainable. And like you said, I'm really the type of person, okay, I want that, I'm going to go get it. Like literally anything I want, I'm going to go get it, So that's just kind of a mindset I developed over the course of 2019, really. I think I kind of just developed more of a go-getter mindset and really just going after literally everything I want. So yeah. And that's another thing, like I actually only put like $1,500 down. I only put but I have a expensive car now. Well, it's a Jeep, so I mean, so it's not gonna be $100,
right?
But and that's the thing, is for buying cars, you don't have to put. And that's another thing. Even with the process of buying a car, it wasn't as like hard, or it's like I guess hard. Literally, I went the same day and picked up the Jeep. I didn't even see it beforehand. I just went that day and found the car and got it that same day. You know, it wasn't like a long process. But yeah, so I just went to the dealership that morning, and we just kind of looked at the cars, and I found mine, and it was literally perfect. So I literally just put I think 1,500 down, and I drove away with the car, like literally within like 2-3 hours. That was it.
And I think it's funny because in your YouTube video, you also mentioned that somebody was coming in, came directly after you to come purchase that same car, but with perfect timing, you ended up getting it like right before they came in. So I think that's God right there. I just feel like at that moment, it was meant to be. Like you manifested that, and it was literally meant to be.
Yeah, I think the day before somebody had came, and then the next, like literally and then the next day I came and I purchased the car, and then he walked in right after me. He wanted to get the car, but I had already picked it up and left. So that's the thing. Like you got to take every opportunity, because if I would have waited another day, I would have lost my car.
So you did mention that you just got your, first big girl job not too long ago. So how is that going for you, that transition?
So it's actually going pretty well. It's actually going really well. I think one thing that I noticed about I guess big girl jobs is that I don't know how to put it, but well, it's like anything at my job that I don't know, they will teach me, they will let me know. And I think what we have to remember, or something that I kind of realized is, I think it's scary thinking like, well, I was really scared going into my job, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't know anything, like I'm gonna get fired the first day because I just don't know anything. That's how I felt. Like I was so scared to get like a new job, like a big girl job. I was really scared. But literally anything I don't know, even because I do accounting, so like even if it's like a basic something basic, I ask and they will tell me. So I think that's one thing, and I know other people probably feel like this, just jumping into the big world and thinking like everybody is so far ahead of you and so much smarter than you. Like people will help you. We're all human at the end of the day, so if you don't know something, if you have nice coworkers and stuff, they will help you out and they will teach you, because at the end of the day, like they hired you, they wanted you, so they want to help you out and keep you on the team. So it's been going pretty well. I started like July 6th. Yeah. So oh wow, it's almost about to be 2 months at this point. But yeah, and because of COVID, well, I'm actually going into the office, but it's only a couple people in my office, which is why I can go in. So it's not like I have to see like 40 people every single day. So, but yeah, it's going really well.
That's so good. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so much.
So if you can give if you can give a couple of tips to people entering this transition, like what would you say to them?
One, I would say, definitely go after everything, every single thing that you want. I think it's really easy to be discouraged, especially like social media is like seeing people doing all these things, and I feel like people get really discouraged by that. But if anything, I think it should motivate you. I know a lot of people will really get discouraged because people are like doing big things on social media, and they will feel bad that they feel like they aren't doing anything. But life is not a race. You're not, and that's another good mindset that I picked up. Like I don't see myself in competition with anybody. Like I don't compare myself like in the slightest to anybody. So I never feel like I'm behind or I'm ahead, because I'm not busy comparing myself. When you like literally have tunnel vision and just are working on your stuff, you actually don't even have time to compare yourself and give you a chance to feel bad because you're not in the same position. So definitely don't compare yourself. It's your journey, move at your own pace. Like, definitely just don't get discouraged by social media, because people don't post their failures. People don't post, when they fail at all. So, you don't get to see the bad. All you see is the good. That's all people post on social media. So people's life can seem like it's glamorous and perfect, but, you don't really know what's going on. So, which is why you should keep your eyes on your plate.
Yeah, I definitely agree because I think we've all kind of went through that phase where we felt kind of discouraged, because we're not where we're supposed to be or where we want to be in life. And then we kind of just start looking like, damn, she's doing this, damn, he's doing that, like I should be doing that. Or like for me personally, I kind of use it as motivation. Like I like to surround myself around people who are like constantly moving up. So I use it like, oh my gosh, my girl got this. Like, oh yeah, if she can do that, I can do that too. Like I use it as kind of a motivator. But there are times where you do kind of feel discouraged because you don't feel like you can you're not at the level that you want to be at. So I do completely agree with the whole tunnel vision thing. Like if you stay focused on what you're doing, because that's been working for me lately, staying focused on what I want to do, what I want to achieve, because at the end of the day, every God has a plan for everybody. Like your destiny is completely different from that person. So what they're doing is not your time to be doing that. Like it's not. So yeah,
some people blow at 16, some people blow at 26. Like, everyone can't blow at the same exact time, so which is how I see it. If we literally cannot all blow at the same exact time. Everyone has their own path. So of course I know it's hard, but like really just try not to be discouraged about what you see and just go after everything that you want to do, and also invest in yourself, whether it's taking a course or whatever it is, invest in yourself. I think I mentioned this in my last YouTube video, but I think we kind of like think somebody's gonna come save us or something like that, or like come and do the job, but literally nobody's gonna come do the job. Yeah, gotta do it by yourself. So once you have that mindset, I think it would be easy for you to start, like, okay, well, what's next for me? Because I got to do this and do this and this because I want to be at this point in my life by this time. So it's like, what are you going to do about it?
So you post like really good pictures and you dress very well. So what are some tips to take some bomb IG photos?
Good question. One, well, I know for my girls who wear lashes, I would say do not take them I think it's like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock when the sun is like directly up, because I know for me it looks terrible. It leaves a shadow under your eyes from your lashes. So just definitely try not to take pictures around from 12 to like 1, like 11 to like 1. Terrible time. Also, I use the app Facetune, just to always brighten my pictures. Pictures, people don't really like, dark pictures and stuff like that. So definitely brighten up your pictures and like add, not a whole filter. I probably use like a slight little filter on there. But yeah, definitely I love brightening up my pictures. Like I hate when my pictures are too dark. I also it's really good to make sure you get somebody to take your pictures that wants to take your pictures, because if you have somebody who's just like, okay, 3, 2, here.
Right.
I would literally take my phone and move on to somebody else. Like, because I take my Instagram seriously. I need a good photo. Like, if you don't want to take it, I'll find somebody else who wants to take it. So definitely make sure whoever's taking your picture wants to take your picture so you can get a good picture out of it. I just ordered one of those Bluetooth picture thingies, so now I'm gonna start taking them by myself. But yeah, I think those are some good tips.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for joining me on my show. I thank you for all your words of wisdom and all your advice. And I really hope that anybody that is watching takes that into consideration. Hey friends, thank you so much for tuning in to Good Vibes with Yaya. If there's a topic that you want us to discuss or know someone that will be a great guest for our show, make sure you follow us and DM us on Instagram at Good Vibes with Yaya, or send us an email at goodvibeswithyaya@gmail.com.